Awesome.
Amazing.
So let's get started. Let's lay down on our backs. The first half of the class is going to be very heated, strong, and the last half will be more relaxing and slower paced. So you get a little bit of both tonight. You might get a little hot and sweaty, and then we'll finish it off with some nice relaxation. So come onto your back. If it feels more comfortable to stay in a seated position, by all means, stay in a seated position. Close your eyes. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. And just tune into the rhythm of your breath. Notice how fast your breath is or how shallow the breath is. And just become aware, just notice without changing it. Take a full deep breath in, expanding the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And a full exhale. Again, take a nice deep inhale, expand the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And a full exhale. One more time, just like that. Full breath in, belly, ribs, and chest. And a full breath out. Return to your natural rhythm of breath. And then just slightly deepen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. So we're taking deeper breaths than we normally would. So as I said in the kind of introduction to the class, we're going to be staying with the theme of stillness. And today that might be stillness in your body, or it might be stillness in your mind. And as you move through this practice, I want you to notice what feels more difficult for you. I want you to notice if it feels more difficult to physically hold a pose for 5 to 10 breaths, or if it's more challenging to quiet the mind as your body holds the pose. There's no right or wrong. There's no way that you should or shouldn't be moving through this practice. Just be open to whatever experience comes your way this evening. Take one more deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead so you have a nice long line through the spine all the way down to the toes. And then tuck the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Hugging the shins. You can bring the head up towards the knees, rounding the spine. Take a full breath in. And exhale, release the head down, reach the arms out to the sides. We'll drop both knees over to the left side and turn your gaze to the right. Becoming aware of any thoughts that pass through your mind as you move through the practice. Working to not hang on to any of these thoughts. Full breath in. Long breath out. And bring the knees back to center. And then drop the knees over to the right. Turn the gaze to the left. Full breath in. Long breath out. And slowly come back to center, hugging the knees in one more time. And then we'll keep the right knee tucked in. Extend the left leg all the way down the mat. You can flex both feet. Take a full breath in. And a long breath out. Keeping the right foot flexed, extend the heel up towards the ceiling and clasp your hands behind the thigh. If the leg doesn't fully extend to straight, know that that's okay. Meet yourself where you're at. Releasing any judgment and allowing your body to be exactly where it is. You can rotate the top ankle one way and then the other. And then coming to stillness again, flexing the foot. Full breath in. A long breath out. One more full breath in. And as you exhale, pull the leg a little closer to the upper body, deepening the stretch slightly. Take one more deep inhale here. And exhale, release the leg all the way down the mat. Tuck the left knee in, keeping the right leg extended down. Full inhale. And exhale, keeping the left leg flexed. Kick the heel up towards the ceiling. Clasp the hands behind the thigh. Again, giving yourself the opportunity to not be perfect. Allow yourself and your body to be exactly where it is, free of judgment, free of critique. Full breath in. Full breath out. Again, full breath in. Exhale, hugging that leg a little closer to the upper body, deepening the stretch slightly. Again, being gentle as we are still just warming up. One more deep inhale here. And exhale. Let go of the leg, extend it all the way down. And then reaching the arms up overhead, one more long stretch through the spine. Tucking knees into the chest. Take the hands underneath the knees and begin to rock forwards and backwards along the spine until you gain enough momentum to come all the way up. And then we'll meet on hands and knees in our tabletop position. So the hands are directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. The knees can be slightly behind the hips if that feels more comfortable. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone and the head. And exhale, push the floor away as you round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone and the head. And exhale, push the floor away, round the spine, chin to chest. We'll move through that a few more times. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone and the head. And exhale, push the floor away, round the spine, chin to chest. Move through these cat-cows a few more times at your own pace. And feel free to experiment with any other type of movement here. Maybe you want to try a side-to-side movement. Maybe you want to draw circles with your shoulders around the wrists. One way and then the other. Maybe you want to try some circular motions with the head and the tail and the hips. Or maybe cat-cow feels good in your body this evening. If so, stick with the cat-cow. Again, this is your body, your practice, your choice. On your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. We'll pull the belly button in towards the spine. Extend the right leg back. Flex the foot so the toes are pointing down towards the ground. And then inhale, reach the left arm forward. Nice long line here. Full breath in. Exhale, tuck the elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. One more time, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And exhale, release the hand and the knee back down. Take a moment, move through a cat-cow or two. And then on your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Again, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, extending the left leg back this time. Hips are squared, toes pointing down towards the ground. And then inhale, extend the right arm nice and long out in front of you. Full breath in. Exhale, elbow to knee. Full breath in, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Last one, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And exhale, release the hand and knee back down. Again, drop the belly, lift the tailbone and the head. And exhale, push the floor away, round the spine, chin to chest. One more time, drop the belly, lift the tailbone and the head. And exhale, push the floor away, around the spine, chin to chest. Come back to a neutral spine and we'll sit the hips all the way back, release the forehead down. Our child's pose. Close the eyes if it feels comfortable. You can let the elbows relax down onto the mat. And as you breathe here, breathe into the back of your body, the back of the lungs. Imagine if I was there with you and I placed my hand on your back, I would be able to feel your breath move the body. Also know that this is your resting place. Anytime you need a break, you need to rest, or a pose doesn't feel comfortable, child's pose is always available for you. Take one more full breath in. Full breath out. Come back up onto all fours, tuck the toes, and we'll lift the hips back, find our first downward facing dog, but keep the knees nice and bent. What I want you to focus more on here is how straight is the line from your hips down to your wrists. Not how straight the legs are or how close to the mat you can get your heels. Really focus on the spine. And then from there, you can bend one knee and then the other, stretching through the backs of the legs here. And then when it feels comfortable, settle into stillness. Again, meeting yourself where you're at and giving yourself grace along the way. This doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to look any different than it looks now. We're going to hold this for 5 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Drop your knees, come back into a child's pose. If your arms or shoulders are tired, you can relax the arms down by the sides, give the shoulders a little rest. One more breath here. Staying here for as long as you'd like, but if you're ready, find your downward facing dog once more. And then from here, inhale, extend the right leg up and back. Exhale, take the knee towards the nose, shoulders over top of the wrists, and then we'll step that foot in between the hands. If you need to help the foot get there, help the foot get there. There's no shame in helping yourself. There's no shame in asking for help. From here, we'll drop the back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, finding our low lunge. Inhale, lift the gaze and the chest, nice and open here. And then exhale, plant the palms, lift the back knee, and we'll step forward, finding a forward fold. Now keep the knees nice and soft here. Relax the upper body forward. Let the head hang heavy. And inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. You can bring the hands to the shins. Really open the chest here. And then exhale, release back down. Soften the knees, slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing the head up last. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring the hands together at the heart center. And then release them down by the sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold it forward. Again, really soften the knees. There's no rush to get the legs straight. We're really focusing on lengthening the spine down here. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. You can place the hands on the shins. And exhale, release. Step the right foot back and drop the back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead for a low lunge. Full breath in, lift the gaze and the chest. And exhale, plant the palms. Lift the back knee, and then we'll step back into a high plank. So here, really push through the hands, maybe even puffing up the back, the in between the shoulder blades, the top of your back. Then we'll lower the knees. Keep the hips where they are and lower the chest and the chin. So the hips are still lifted. From here, pushing with the feet, come forward and untuck the toes. This is our baby cobra. Full breath in. And exhale, release. Push your hips all the way back to the heels, tucking the toes, and then find your downward facing dog. So we'll do that sun salutation one more time, a little bit faster this time. Inhale, extend the left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Foot comes in between the hands. We'll drop the back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, low lunge. Full breath in, lift the gaze and the chest. And exhale, plant the palms, lift the back knee, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold. Slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head comes up last. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands together at the heart center and release them down by the sides. Inhale, reach the arms up and exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine and exhale, release. We'll step the left foot back and drop the knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up for a low lunge. Full breath in, lift the gaze and the chest. And exhale, plant the palms, step it back, high plank. Full breath in. Exhale, lower the knees, chest and chin. Inhale, come forward, untuck the toes, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Pushing the hips to the heels. And find your downward facing dog, 5 breaths. Inhale, extend the right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, step it forward. This time, keep the back heel lifted, the back knee lifted, and the back heel. And come up to our high lunge, reaching the arms up overhead. Full breath in. And then exhale, we're gonna open it up and lower the back heel down so the toes are in line with the long edge of the mat. We're in our warrior 2. So we're gonna hold this for about 10 breaths. Pulling the belly button into the spine. Rolling the shoulders down the back so we have a nice long neck, open chest. And become aware of what happens first. Is your body giving up first, or is your mind? Without judgment, just awareness. One more breath. Good. Inhale, straighten that front leg. And then we'll tilt the hips back and begin to reach that right arm forward. And then release the right arm down. It can relax on the shin. It can be on the thigh. It can be on the ankle, mat in front or behind your right leg. You can hover it on the inside, finding a place that's comfortable for you. The most important thing here is keeping the chest open. So from there, reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. So we want to keep a nice long line in the right side of our body. So we're not hanging out down here, we're open. Again, holding for 10 breaths. Noticing what happens first, the body or the mind. What tends to give up first? If your neck gets sore from looking up, you're always free to look down towards your foot. One more breath in. And exhale, pushing down through the feet, come all the way up to stand. And then we'll take all 10 toes to face this long edge, pointing to the long edge of the mat. And then the heels can come out a little bit further than the toes. So our toes are kind of pointed in. Bring the hands onto the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, lift the chest. And then exhale, slowly begin to fold it forward, coming into our wide leg forward fold. Again, keep the legs nice and soft here. You can take the hands down towards the mat. They can be underneath your shoulders. They can be in line with your feet, pulling your head down towards the mat, finding a variation, a version of this pose that feels comfortable for you. If you want to take a hold of the ankles and pull yourself down, that's an option as well. You can also hold the big toes if that feels good. You can keep your hands on your hips, finding a place in this pose that feels the most comfortable for you. Comfortable is kind of relative here. Maybe this feels comfortable for you, maybe it doesn't. There's no right or wrong. And then again, we'll hold for 10 breaths. One more breath here. And inhale, come up halfway. Then we'll point the right toes to the top of the mat, walk the hands onto either side of the front foot, and step it back into our high plank. Full breath in. Exhale, lower the knees. This time, keeping a nice long line from the shoulders and the knees, we'll just lower halfway. From there, drop all the way down. Untuck the toes, inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, lift the chest. And exhale, release. Push it back, find your child's pose. Again, you can relax the hands down by the sides if that feels more comfortable in your body. So I want you to take this moment in your child's pose as you catch your breath, as you become present in your body again. Out of those poses that we just held, what felt the most difficult to you? Did one of the standing poses, warrior two or triangle, did that feel more difficult? Or did it feel more difficult to hold the forward fold? You don't have to answer me, just become aware for yourself. If it was the strength that was more difficult or the stretch that was more difficult. Take one more full breath in here. And exhale. Find your way back into your downward facing dog. Nice deep inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, extend the left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. And step it forward, keeping the back knee and the back heel lifted. And inhale, reach the arms up overhead, coming into your high lunge. Full breath in. And then exhale, open it up, lower the back heel down, toes are in line with or pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Opening the arms out, finding our warrior two. So again, 10 breaths. And if this one feels more challenging for you, physically, just trust that your body has the strength to hold you here. If this is more difficult mentally, lean into that. Every time your brain tells you that you can't stay here any longer, tell yourself, watch this, and then stay. One more inhale. And exhale. Straighten that front leg, tilting the hips back. Begin to reach this left hand forward as long as you can, keeping the chest nice and open. We'll take that left arm down, again finding a place to put your hand that feels the most natural for you. And then we'll reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. And again, holding for 10 breaths. Take this moment to check in with the quality of your breath. How deep are the breaths that you're taking? Can you deepen them? One more breath here. And pushing down through the feet as you come all the way up. And then taking all 10 toes towards that long edge of the mat. Legs are nice and wide. Hands come to the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, lift the chest. And exhale, fold it forward. Again, maybe the hands come underneath the shoulders. Maybe the hands come in line with the feet. Maybe you grab the ankles. Maybe the hands stay on the hips. Again, finding a variation of this pose that feels good in your body or that feels safe in your body. One more breath. One next inhale, lifting up halfway. Left toes point towards the top of the mat. Walk the hands onto either side. And then we'll step it back into our high plank. Full breath in. Exhale, lower the knees. Lower down halfway. And then all the way. Untuck the toes. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back. Lift the chest. And exhale, release. Push it back. Find your child's pose. Holding here for a moment. Again, reflecting on which one of those poses felt the most difficult. One more breath here. Coming back up into our downward facing dog. Inhale, extend the right leg up and back. Exhale, bring the knee to the right elbow and then release the knee down, taking this right foot in line with the left wrist. And then we'll wiggle our way back, lower the back knee down and untuck the toes. So we're coming into our pigeon pose. Your foot, this is what it looks like from the front. So this foot can be either in a straight line with your knee, that's really deep, or you can tuck it in a little bit closer to your body. But essentially we want to keep the hips square. So if you can't keep the hips square yet, pull the heel closer in towards the body. From here, come up onto the fingertips, open the chest, and then exhale, planting the palms in front of you. This is option one. If this feels comfortable, stay here. If you feel like there might be a little more space, you can try dropping down to the elbows, see how that feels. It might feel too much, and that's okay. If you come back up onto the hands, stay here. If this feels comfortable and you feel like you might have a little more space, maybe you reach the arms out in front of you and relax the forehead down. But we're going to be holding this for about 10 breaths. So find a comfortable place to stay, a comfortable enough place to stay. Because again, comfort here is kind of relative. 10 nice deep breaths. Become aware of what's happening in the body. Become aware of what's happening in your mind. Do you want to move? Do you want to fidget? Or do you want to stay here? Again, there's no right or wrong answer. Take one more deep inhale and a full exhale. Slowly come back up onto the hands if you're not there yet. And then shift the weight to the right side, and we'll swing the left leg all the way around the back. Let me face you. So our right leg is here. Our left ankle comes onto the right ankle, and the knee relaxes over top of the right ankle. So your knee might be up here. If it's up here, all good. If it feels more comfortable to extend the right leg out, extend the right leg out. Again, this is your body, your practice. You have to do what's best for you, what feels most comfortable for you. So if you're here, maybe the knee is touching the right ankle, great. Meet yourself where you're at. So maybe sitting here is enough for you. Maybe you don't need to move. You don't need to make this any more or less challenging. If that's where you are, just sit up nice and tall, close the eyes. If you feel like you have more space here, feel free to walk the hands forward. Going nice and slow, walking the hands as far out as feels comfortable. Finding a place that you would like to hold. Again, for 10 breaths. Allow whatever's happening here to happen, free of judgment. There's no right or wrong. Let any feelings or emotions that may be surfacing, let them surface. We hold a lot of tension in our hips. And in that tension, we hold a lot of our emotion. So maybe holding this pose, maybe that brings up some sort of anger or frustration. Maybe you feel flustered or overwhelmed. Or maybe this feels good for you. Maybe you like this. Knowing that whatever your experience is in this pose, in this practice, knowing that it's valid. Take one more inhale and exhale. Coming up to sitting upright, we'll swing that leg all the way back behind us again. Plant the palms, tuck the toe, step it back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal out the feet. If you would like to extend the right leg up and back and then open the hip, bend the knee, that's an option as well. And then meeting back in downward facing dog when you're ready. Inhale, extending the left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to left elbow, and then release it down. Finding a comfortable place for this left ankle, and then slowly scooting your way back, lower the back knee, untuck the toes. Coming up onto the fingertips, inhale, open the chest. And then exhale, planting the palms. So again, maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you want to go a little deeper. Maybe you have some more space to drop down to the elbows. Feel free to do that. Maybe, again, you want to walk the hands out in front of you and lower the forehead down. Again, this is your practice, so it's your choice. But finding that place where you feel comfortable enough to hold it. Maybe closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And again, becoming aware of the challenge here, if it's a physical challenge or a mental challenge. Full breath in. Long breaths out. Take one more inhale. Full exhale. And slowly coming up onto the hands. Again, sitting over to one side, swinging that right leg all the way around. So again, maybe your knee is up here and this feels very uncomfortable. Feel free to extend that left leg. And you might find that one side is drastically different than the other. Know that that's okay, that's normal. Our bodies are not completely symmetrical. Maybe sitting up nice and tall, again, is comfortable for you. This is where you would like to stay. If so, stay here. Close the eyes if it feels good. And if you'd like to walk the hands forward, again, that's an option for you. Meeting yourself where you're at, even if you're not where you would like to be. Oftentimes we can try to push ourselves or force ourselves to go deeper into a pose than our body is ready. Which of course could result in injury. But meet yourself where you're at. The biggest challenge here is not where your body can be physically. It's, can you be okay with where your body is at, even if it's not where you would like it to be. And that goes for anything really, our body, in terms of any type of movement that we do in our yoga practice, in our strength training practice, as well as just our bodies in our day-to-day lives. Even if your body doesn't look the way that you want it to, can you meet yourself where you're at? Can you be okay with that fact? Yeah, I think full breath in. Long breath out. Slowly coming up. If you have walked the hands forward. And then let's extend both legs out in front of you and just wiggle. Bouncing the knees up and down. You can wiggle the feet, bring them in and out, in and out. And then find stillness. We'll do a forward fold here. So sitting up nice and tall, inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Keeping the chest nice and open and the spine long, begin to lead with the chest as you fold forward halfway, stopping about halfway, or just before you start to round, because this is going to be your initial reaction, is to round to try to touch your toes. But I want you to think about pulling your chest forward and keeping your spine long. 5 breaths here. One more breath. And then exhale, release the hands down. They can come to the thighs, the shins, the ankles, the toes, the floor, wherever they fall. Allow them to be there. And allow your body to round now. And let the head hang heavy. Let the shoulders round. Relaxing the upper body forward. Holding this for 10 breaths. One more breath here. And slowly come up out of the fold. We'll place our hands down behind us, fingers pointing towards the legs. And then we'll bend the knees, pressing down into the hands and the feet. Lift the hips up for a reverse tabletop. You can keep the chin to the chest, or if it feels comfortable on your neck, you can release the head back. We're just opening up the front of our body after that long forward fold. And release it back down. Make your way onto your back. Tuck the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then extend the legs nice and long down the mat. We'll come into our final resting pose, our Shavasana. If you would like to grab any pillows to place under the knees, feel free to do so. If you'd like to grab a blanket, feel free to do so. Take these first few moments to get comfortable here. The legs can come nice and wide. Relax the feet open. The arms can be down by the sides, or you can place the hands on the belly if that feels more comfortable. But if the arms are down, turn the palms to face the ceiling. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out the mouth. 2 more breaths like that. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out the mouth. 1 more time. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Let the body become soft. Let the body become heavy. Allow yourself to relax and sink into the mat underneath you. Feel any sensations that you might be feeling in the body. There's so much power in stillness, whether that's stillness of the body or stillness of the mind. And you might have found today that it's easier to stay in a physically challenging posture than it is to still the mind. Or you might have found that it's more difficult to stay in a physically challenging posture, but it's easier to still and quiet the mind. Know that whatever you experienced today is your experience. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just yours. And having this knowledge of whether we do better calming our minds through physically challenging movements or softer, slower movements can be really beneficial for yourself in the future for choosing what type of movement you would like to do to achieve a certain stillness in your mind. Maybe your life is very fast-paced, you're always moving, you're always going. So maybe stillness in the softer, more relaxing poses is a little more challenging for you. Or maybe you sit at a desk for your job. You have a slower paced life. And it's more challenging to hold the strengthening pose, to build the fire. So again, when we become aware of which of these ways is easier to calm our minds, we can use that to our advantage. Take one more deep inhale and a full exhale. You can stay here for as long as you would like. But if you're ready, begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Rotate the wrists and the ankles. Reach the arms up overhead for a nice long stretch. And tuck the knees into the chest, give yourself a hug. And then allow yourself to roll over to one side and pause for a moment. Slowly push yourself up and join me in a comfortable seat. Bring the hands together at the heart center and bow the head to the heart. And take a moment to thank yourself for showing up, for dedicating this entire hour to yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit. Let's take one more deep breath together. Full breath in and a long breath out. And thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one. Namaste.